The celestial dragons might be the most misunderstood characters in all of One Piece. For years, the fandom thought their giant bubble suits were space helmets, futuristic, sci-fi, alien-looking technology. But what if we've been wrong the entire time? What if these suits are not space-related at all, but instead something far older, far darker, and far more symbolic? What if the Tenryuubito are not gods from above, but the last remaining survivors of a forgotten world beneath the ocean? This is the deep-sea Tenryuubito theory, and it changes everything we know about the so-called celestial dragons. Let's start with the obvious visual evidence, something Oda drew right in our faces. Huge, rounded copper helmets, mesh great windows instead of glass visors, an external air tube connected from the outside, 0 oxygen tanks, no pressure regulation, no cooling system, no airtight seal anywhere on the body, and thick, stiff gloves like old maritime hazard suits. This equipment is not futuristic. It's archaic nautical technology. These are the exact features of historical deep-sea diving suits used in the 1800s to explore shipwrecks and underwater ruins. Meaning, their design points downward, not upward. Their symbolism is oceanic, not cosmic. And the Tenryuubito are tied to the sea, not the sky. This is the first crack in the entire heavenly gods persona. If these were really meant for survival, why wear them in a normal atmosphere? There is no poisonous air. There is no vacuum. There is no radiation. There is nothing physically dangerous about breathing the same air as everyone else. And yet, the Tenryuubito refuse to breathe common air. At first, people assume this is pure arrogance, but arrogance alone doesn't explain everything. Arrogance doesn't explain the isolation systems, the airtight tubes, the obsessive separation from outside conditions, or the fact that they act like even the smell of normal humans is contamination. This is not just superiority. This is conditioning. This is habit. This is a culture born inside a sealed environment, an environment where outside air was truly dangerous. Like a deep-sea dome, a pressurized underwater habitat, a hermetically sealed ancient city. The suits aren't protection from Aves. They're a symbolic echo of a past where they needed protection from the world. Quick break. If you're still here, hit that subscribe button. More insane Final Saga theories coming every week. Think about how they behave. They panic when air touches them. They travel inside bubbles. They hate any unfiltered atmosphere. Their homes mimic airtight, sterile chambers. Their culture is obsessed with isolation. Their fear of contamination is extreme. Their posture and clothing resemble people used to closed environments. This is how people behave when they come from a sealed laboratory, a deep-sea pressure habitat, a dome city underwater, entered a world where outside air could kill you. Not from a religious heaven, and not from space. Their behavior is much closer to underwater colonists than cosmic beings. Mariejois isn't their godly throne. It's their replacement dome, a symbolic recreation of their old environment. This is critical. The tubes on their helmets go nowhere. They connect to no machine, no pump, no regulator, no system that makes sense for actual breathing. The helmets are not real life support systems. They are ceremonial replicas of an older, functional suit. In other words, the original Tenryuubito wore real underwater suits. Their descendants wear symbolic imitations. The real technology is gone, but the culture survived. Just like knights today don't use real armor, but the symbolism remains. The Tenryuubito are the same. Their suit is not for survival. It's a costume of superiority, inspired by real equipment their ancestors once used. This point is massive. Oda rarely references outer space. Almost all of One Piece's symbolism is tied to the ocean, nautical history, ancient maritime cultures, sunken cities, sea navigation, bubbles and pressure, isolation underwater, marine metaphors, even futuristic things like the pacifistas and seraphim still carry naval aesthetics. So why would the Tenryuubito, the leaders of this sea-based world, be space beings? They aren't. Their helmets reflect the sea, not the stars. Oda made them look like underwater aristocrats, not cosmic gods. Their behavior goes far beyond arrogance. Extreme xenophobia, panic over air exposure, the belief that outside contact is lethal, overprotective isolation, breathing only pre-filtered air, living in perfect sterile environments, and treating the outside world as contaminated. This is exactly how a closed environment civilization would behave after generations of isolation. It's not biology, it's not classism, it's ancestral memory. The suits are a ritual, not a requirement, a performance, a reminder of where they once lived, a constant message. We belong to a higher, cleaner world than you. Not above you, but separate from you. Put everything together. Their suits are nautical, not cosmic. Their behavior fits an isolated pressure culture. Their tubes match old diving gear. Their panic over air exposure is symbolic. Their homes mimic sealed environments. Their psychology fits underwater survivors. Their imagery is maritime, not celestial. They act like people who lived under a dome, not in the heavens. This leads to the ultimate conclusion. The Tenryuubito are survivors of a lost underwater elite culture. Their suits are symbolic diving suits. Their isolation is inherited trauma. Their bubble helmets represent old underwater domes. Their god complex comes from being the last members of an elite that once lived apart from humanity. They are not celestial dragons. They are submerged dragons, an aristocracy that rose from the depths and reinvented themselves as gods. They look down on the world because they once lived beneath it, and now stand above everything they conquered. The Tenryuubito are not gods from the sky. They are ghosts from the deep.